Convocation. Ladies and gentlemen, can you please rise for the procession?
Mayibe ngumnqo ibe ngumnqo thini madoda dala endaba ukubopha amabande kodwa ndingathanda ukuthezela emnxebeni. Ndiyaqonda ke ngokuswela ingqiqo aniqondi niyazibuza nithetha ngantoni. Mamelani ke ndiniphuthume ndiniqhubele kwesi sikhwebu ndiniphakela kule mbiza ndingayekanga ukunirhabulisa kule bhekile. Ndithetha ngethandazwe umaziwelimi zonke zakwantu into ethanda wonke umuntu ithanda imfundo ithanda imvelo ingawuvalelanga ngaphandle umhlaba umlimi olima de aqhekezela ummelwane angamdlela imona usomashishini owayenephupho lokuba yimvumi ekukhuleni kwakhe umbhali weengoma neencwadi ngaphandle koshishino usaziwayo owaziwayo kuzo zonke iinkalo. Yinkokhelo enzulu ngokucinga umcingi wezinto ezingaqhelekanga. Amasama awadi ayanqwala ayavuma athi ayamazi ambonile. Unguyise kwiintsana zakhe umyeni kumkakhe. Ilizwekazi loMzantsi Afrika liyavuma lithi liyamazi limbonile. NelaseYurophu aluvala umlomo ngoncuthu lwemponyomponyo yakhe uyinkokhelo enzulu ngokucinga. Umcingi wezinto ezingaqhelekanga umAfrika woqobo. Unozala wotshintsho isithethi soluntu umthandi wobuntu ingcali kwezobunkokheli zesizwekazi sama-Afrika umlawulo oveleleyo. Xa umbiza ke uzuthi Hlase, Mkhathini, Mlilo, Ndlele hamba ekhaya. Wena wakwampahla emhlophe ingaba bomvu seyonakele xa ungamqondi umbuze kwabakwa-Eskom bayamazi. EUnilever nakhona abamvanga mbali bayamqonda. e-PIC uke wanyathela wasuka apho walibangisa kwaNedbank kooCorobrick nakooGlobal ubuya khona kusajongeleyo nanko ezenzela ikhaya elithiya aka Capital elenzela ubuhlobo obuhle koo-Old Mutual, Protea Hospitality Holdings, Sasol Oil, ndibala ntoni na. Isebe lezemfundo ke limqonda kangcono ephume ngena kwiidyunivesithi ezahlukeneyo efuna imfundo nelaphetsheya kwezilwandle liyamazi liyavuma. Oosomashishini naba bathulanga ngaye bayathetha bayamazi. Ungumntu owaziwayo kwiinkalo zonke, umntu ofunayo kwisizwe sonke. Akukho apha hamba khona angashiyi mzila. Ntinga ntakandini ubomi bungaphaya kwesibhakabhaka Lucy impondokazi.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Chair of UKZN Council, Dr. Letitia Moja, Honorable MEC, Education, Kwesi Mshengo, members of the University Council past and present, members of University Senate, members of the University Executive Team, members of the Convocation past and present, members of Student Representative Council, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to observe our protocols and also to wish those who are online a very warm welcome. It has been a while since we've been able to gather like this, and I'm very pleased that so many of you have been able to join us this morning. But before we start, may I request that we spend a moment's silence in recognition of those who have suffered so greatly in the recent floods at KZN. If you stand with me, please. Thank you very much. You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, today we celebrate a chapter, a very new chapter in this august university's history. That new chapter begins with the installation of Dr. Reuel Khoza as our fourth Chancellor of this university. I am delighted to welcome Dr. Khoza and his family and to thank him once again for the enthusiasm with which he embraced the offer of our Chancellor. We view the Chancellorship of UKZN as a special honor, granted to individuals who are not only highly accomplished in their own right, but are also individuals who share the dreams and aspirations of this great institution. I say this not as to offer a rhetorical flourish, but ever since this university has been established, our commitment to enabling transformation to be at the heart of the academic project has driven everything we've done. By dint of this, and in addition to the world-class research we've conducted, UKZN has become pivotal to the development of the province and to the broader country. Together, we've created and sustained an outstanding national asset. We are regularly ranked among the top 5 research-intensive universities in the country and among the top 400 universities globally. Importantly, we've also remained the most transformed of the research-intensive institutions in the country, with more than 70% of our students being drawn from quintile 1 to 3 schools. This is a firm commitment and a clear indication, if one was needed, of our absolute dedication to transformation in South Africa. So before turning to our distinguished guests, please allow me to offer my heartfelt acknowledgement to our staff and students for their utterly remarkable dedication and resilience. Through a series of unprecedented challenges, the merger that gave rise to UKZN, post-merger consolidation, political violence on our campuses that has done so much to mar our reputation, the COVID pandemic, and the recent devastating floods, our staff and students have met each challenge head-on. We salute you for your bravery, we admire your resilience, and we applaud your dedication to the betterment of humanity through your commitment to this great institution. But before anyone breathes a sigh of relief, there is one more challenge, perhaps the most important challenge for the current generation. That is project renewal. UKZN has created a wonderful institution, but that institution has not been reviewed or indeed reassessed in more than 18 years. In that period, universities have gone under tremendous change in a world that is driven by both the intensity of globalization and also the reality of neoliberalism. As a result, the impact on higher education has been profound. The rules of survival will depend, particularly for UKZN, on how we're able to move with the times, reform our structures, realign our purpose, and increase our competitiveness, particularly the competitiveness of our students in a graduate market. We cannot succeed by remaining as we are, or by making small adjustments to our structures, procedures, or curricula. In the absence of comprehensive transition, we will lose our standing, we'll lose our purpose, and we'll lose our relevance. It is in this context that we've embarked on Project Renewal. The project is dedicated to complete review of every aspect of the university. It has been a year in planning, and we anticipate the implementation will take a further 3 years. I appreciate that after all we've been through in the last few years, the project and its prospect might have been an unwelcome addition to the university's plate of activities. But I am delighted to reaffirm and confirm today that the project has been unanimously embraced. And indeed, as we speak, all elements of the university structures are engaged in this process. We're a university that must succeed. A university that must continue to strive for the betterment of transitions, particularly transformation. Our importance has become even more glaringly clear over the past 2 years with the pandemic and our scientists' contribution to that. We salute the endeavor of the university community and how they've come to the fore with their expertise, their commitment, and their desire to help and to move the societies around us towards a better future. So it is vital that all stakeholders come together for the preservation of this institution. We need to preserve it because without a vibrant, active, and engaged UKZN, our society will be worse for it. It is against this background of renewal and change that we have eagerly embraced Dr. Khoza, our Chancellor. He embodies our aspirations and hope through his considerable network. The vital rejuvenation of our connectivity with business and communities near and far will be strengthened. Dr. Khoza has generously agreed to link his well-earned reputation to UKZN at a critical moment in our history. In such a wide-ranging, successful career, perhaps his most outstanding quality has been his willingness to lead, both formally, for example, by his presidency of the Institute of Directors, and less formally, but still very powerfully, by inspiring others. Who better than someone who widely acknowledged and is acknowledged as a thought leader to be our Chancellor. In addition to having a glittering business career, Dr. Khoza is also a man of many gifts, a farmer, a musician among them. It will seem that the only matter beyond his reach at the moment is time for his family. But we thank him for dedicating his life to the service and the betterment of others. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor that I recommend the endorsement of Dr. Khoza to you as a man of outstanding quality and as a man who will bring significant purpose and purpose to our mission and ambition. Dr. Khoza, please consider us inspired, and on behalf of the entire university community, I wish you a very warm welcome and a successful tenure as our Chancellor.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor and privilege to announce that on the 27th of September 2021, a meeting of the University Council elected Dr. Reuel Khoza as the 4th Chancellor of the University of KwaZulu-Natal. His term of office will be ending on the 30th of June 2025. We look forward to him being installed as the Chancellor.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the pleasure to present Dr. Reuel Khoza for the installation as the 4th Chancellor of the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Dr. Reuel Jethro Khoza, distinguished thinker, businessman, President of the Institute of Directors, Africanist, public speaker, and change agent at the forefront of Black economic empowerment. Dr. Reuel J. Khoza is both a practitioner and theorist in the field of African leadership. He has been hailed as a role model of leadership in corporate life. As president of the Institute of Directors, he co-authored King Reports 2, 3, and 4 on corporate governance. Dr. Reuel Khoza is currently chairman and major shareholder of Akka Capital Pty Limited, an investment holdings and private equity company with investments in various industries. He was the first Black chairman of Eskom Holdings. He later chaired the Public Investment Corporation Pty Limited, Nedbank Group, Corobrick Pty Limited, Globalec, an African continental investor in the energy sector focusing on renewables, funded by the Commonwealth Development Corporation and the Norwegian Fund. He has been a director of several companies in which Akka Capital was invested, including Nampak, Old Mutual PLC, Protea Hospitality Holdings, and Sasol Oil. He was also director of Standard Bank Group and Liberty Life Group. Dr. Khoza's qualifications include BA Honors in Psychology from the University of the North, now known as University of Limpopo, an MA Marketing Management degree from the University of Lancaster in the United Kingdom, an engineering doctorate in business from the University of Warwick in the United Kingdom, a program for management development and a program for management development certificate from Harvard Business School in the United States of America, an international program for board members from IMD Lausanne in Switzerland, and a doctorate of laws honoris causa from Rhodes University, a doctorate in economy honoris causa from University of Free State, Doctor of Laws honoris causa from the University of Warwick in January 2020. Dr. Khoza is currently chairman of Assupol Holdings Limited and Assupol Insurance Company, and he was recently, in 2021, appointed chairman of Discovery Bank and Discovery Bank Holdings. He is a fellow and president of the Institute of Directors in Southern Africa, former member of the Presidential Economic Advisory Panel under President Thabo Mbeki, and former member of the Honorary International Investment Council of the President of Nigeria. Reuel serves as a member of the King Committee on Corporate Governance in South Africa. In 2002, he chaired the section that dealt with the triple bottom line reporting, and in 2008, convened its task group on integrated sustainability reporting. A chartered director SA, he deputized Mervyn King in King 3 and King 4. He's also a founding member, past director, and patron of the Black Management Forum, former council member of the South African Institute of Management, and a program pioneer of Nelson Mandela, the champion within. Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to ask you to commence the installation of the Reuel Jethro Khoza as Chancellor of the University of KwaZulu-Natal.
Honored guests, I, Reuel Khoza, do solemnly declare that I will faithfully and to the best of my ability discharge all the duties and obligations pertaining to the office of Chancellor of the University of KwaZulu-Natal, according to the statutes, regulations, and usages made or established in that regard, and will promote the well-being of the university and that of its members so far as in me lies.
Chancellor, there are many people that have tendered apologies for not being here and have sent messages of greetings and congratulations to the Chancellor and the university. Chancellor, we now have greetings on behalf of Convocation presented by Dr. Qiniso Mlita, President of Convocation.
Greetings to our new Chancellor, Dr. Khoza, and all protocol observed. Because of time, I'm not going to greet each and every one of you. I want to congratulate Dr. Khoza by saying that we have declared this convocation as a campaigning type of convocation for the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Also, we have declared this convocation as a structure that should be contributory in making sure that we alleviate financial disabilities that are facing this institution. Because we cannot be proud alumni who are going to be witnessing a state of bankruptcy in our institution. The reason why I'm talking about the financial challenges that we are facing, we will agree, every year we are having strikes that will result in vandalism. And that is denting our institution negatively. But now we need to have a new problem-solving skill to say, is this problem not recurring? Because in January or February, we'll have the same thing. Why are we not trying to have a new approach? But Chancellor, in order to solve our societal issues, we need the stakeholders of the university to understand the social contour of the society where the university is situated. We need more community outreach programs so that we really understand when we say a student is excluded financially, academically, and socially. You cannot be in a board meeting and decide on a social aspect that you don't understand. I know we don't have enough time. I still have a lot to talk about. But I want to say, this is a fight that we are getting into. It's a war. Only a dead man sees the end of war. But we are all here prepared to fight for the fair deal in this land of our fathers. And we are with you. We are going to fight. I know at some point internally we'll fight, but when we fight, we'll fight with respect because we want quality in UKZN. Thank you.
Chancellor, on behalf of the staff of the University of KwaZulu-Natal, presented by Mrs. Thandi Sibisi, the chairperson of NIHAU.
Greetings to our newly appointed Chancellor, Chair of Council, Dr. Letitia Moja, members of the University Council, Honorable MEC for Education, Mr. Gwazi Mshengu, Vice Chancellor Professor Nana Boko, Deputy Vice Chancellors, Executive Management, Deans, SRC President and your structure, members of staff, students of the University of KwaZulu-Natal, past and present, and distinguished guests. It's my pleasure and honor to offer congratulations on behalf of staff and Organized Labor to Dr. Reuel Jethro Khoza on being installed as the Chancellor of the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Dr. Khoza brings to this most important role of wealth of experience, talent, and gravitas, a business and transformation leader, as well as an author widely recognized both locally and abroad, with many honors and achievements. We believe that Dr. Khoza will serve UKZN well. We welcome a Chancellor well-served in good governance and not afraid to turn truth to power, even inconvenient. Halala, Dr. Khoza, halala. These talents will serve Dr. Khoza and UKZN well as we face a challenging period of instability, financial constraints, issues of morale and security, as well as the ongoing challenges of transformation while maintaining the highest standards of research and teaching and learning. We are grateful for his taking on the role of titular head, and as the face of the University of KwaZulu-Natal, his willingness to associate his considerable reputation and integrity with our beloved institution bodes well for UKZN and serves also as a powerful reminder of the integration of our university into the broad community it serves. This community of students, of staff, and of people of KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa, and the entire African continent extends well beyond the walls of the academy and beyond any local political patronage. It is therefore fitting to have a person of such a broad stature as Dr. Khoza as a Chancellor. On behalf of staff of UKZN and Organized Labor in particular, we welcome Dr. Khoza as the Chancellor and wish him well for his term. Siyabonga kakhulu Mlotshwa, Msuthu, Mkhathini, Siphana bantwana ndlala ehambe ekhaya eyanqamla kaMlandakazi mancenceni. Siyabonga.
Chancellor, on behalf of the students, we have Mr. Malusi Zuma, President of the Students' Representative Council Executive.
Minister of Education, Dr. Blade Nzimande, MEC of Education, Mr. Wazim Shengu, UKZN Chancellor, Dr. Khoza, Chair of Council, Dr. Letitia Moja, members of Council, members of Senate, Vice Chancellor and Principal, Professor Nanapoku, members of the Executive Management, President of Convocation, Dr. Mlita, members of Convocation Executive, Deputy President Lungani Shezi, Secretary General of the SRC, Spirel Madondo, members of the Student Representative Council, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Malusi Michael Zuma, and I am the UKZN SRC President General. We are pleased and grateful for this opportunity to offer words of support on this auspicious occasion of the inauguration of our Chancellor, Dr. Reuel Khoza. Our main role as a student body representing students is to safeguard and improve, where possible, the general welfare and well-being of our students. We do that by ensuring that our students are provided with all necessary support and by ensuring that conditions and the general environment are conducive to learning. We also seek to ensure that the institution's image is protected by all means and by supporting programs and initiatives that protect the integrity of our institution, which by extension guarantees the integrity of our qualifications. We believe the inauguration of Khoza as Chancellor, reinforces the integrity of the institution and enhances its image. Chancellor, on behalf of the students and the student SRC representative, wish to congratulate you well in your new role, and we are confident that you will execute your duties with aplomb as you have done in all other leadership roles you have and continue to occupy. We assure you that we will work together in ensuring that the image of this university is protected, and we uplift the lives of our students and ensure that all the services provided to the students are well taken care of accordingly. Your passion for education and your achievements will no doubt inspire and cultivate the next crop of leadership and leaders here in UKZN. For and on behalf of Student Representative Council, we wish to congratulate you on your inauguration. Thank you very much.
Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate, presented by Professor Nobushle Slongwa, Dean of School of Arts.
MEC Education in KwaZulu-Natal, the Honorable Ukwazi Mshengu, Chair of Council, Dr. Letitia Moja, Vice Chancellor and Principal of the University of KwaZulu-Natal, Professor Nana Poku, Chancellor, Dr. Reuel Jethro Khoza, Mrs. Mamsi Khoza and family, guest of Dr. Khoza, members of the University of KwaZulu-Natal Council, members of the University of KwaZulu-Natal Executive Management, members of Senate, academics and professional staff, President of the Convocation, Dr. Qiniso Mlita, members of the Convocation Executive, former Chair of Council, Mr. Mark Mayer, former President of Convocation, Mr. Fanle Sibisi, the student leadership, representative from staff unions, UKZN Foundation Board of Trustees, alumni of UKZN, government officials, captains of industry, business leaders, friends of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. The Senate of the University of KwaZulu-Natal is honored to congratulate our Chancellor, Dr. Reuel Jethro Khoza. Dr. Khoza is the fourth Chancellor to hold the office of the University of KwaZulu-Natal. The Senate is the committee that takes responsibility of all teaching, learning, research, and academic functions of the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Senate is accountable to Council for all teaching, learning, research, and academic functions of the university as the 2012 statute. Dr. Khoza, as a distinguished thought leader, an astute businessman, and a renowned voice at the forefront of transformation in the South African political economy, we congratulate you. You have joined the University of KwaZulu-Natal at a critical point in the history of the province. Lapho sisazikhotha khona amanxeba emkhathini ngenxa yobhubhane lwe-COVID-19 olube nomthelela omubi kakhulu emnothweni wezwe lonke. Abantu abaningi baphelelwe imisebenzi. Izinga lokungasebenzi kwabantu ngekota yesine yonyaka we-2021 belibalelwa emaphesentini angu-35.3. Lesi sibalo kulindeleke ukuthi senyuke siye emaphesentini angu-35.80. Sitheke sisabheke lokho mkhathini sabuye saba nesombe esinzima esizokhumbuleka emlandweni lapho umphakathi khona wayingenela ezitolo wayitapela. Sithe sisabambe ongezansi sithi asikaze siyibone into enjena kwafika izikhukhula ezihambe nemphefumulo engaphezulu kwamakhulu amane. Lezi ke zikhukhula zilimaze kakhulu ingqalasizinda yethu kanti nakubafundi bethu nakubasebenzi abathile baphazamisekile kakhulu. Kukhona nje omunye umfundi obebhalile ngesonto eledlule ethi useyayeka izifundo zakhe kulonyaka ngoba umuzi wakubo wemukile kwahamba yonke into abade benayo. Wayethumela umyalezo esebenzisa umakhalekhukhwini womngane wakhe ngoba kwa umakhalekhukhwini wakhe nawo wemukile. Kule minyaka ke emine ke sizobe sihlezi nawe emkhathini njengano Chancellor wethu kuningi sizokufunda kuwena nesifisa futhi usicushise kukona njengenyuvesi ukuqinisa ubudlelane bethu namabhodi ezimboni eziningi. Kuyasijabulisa ke kakhulu ukuthi njengamanje njengoba ungumengameli we-Institute for Directors in South Africa ubuye futhi ube usihlalo we-Zana Investment Pty Ltd, i-Public Investment Corporation kanye ne-Asupo Insurance Group. Yonke lemsebenzi uyibambe ngokukhulu ukuzimisela nokuthobeka. Here at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, we have UKZN Incubate. This is a technology transfer office of the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Our students matters and they are at the forefront of these developments. UKZN Incubate promotes innovation, commercialization, and entrepreneurship. UKZN is the premier University of African Scholarship, is ranked as one of Africa's most prominent universities and is constantly highly ranked globally in terms of its research impact and academic quality. This research impact is enhanced through innovation and technology transfer leading to tangible solutions to Africa's challenges. In his 2021 book, Nuts and Bolts, Maclean Sibanda talks about innovation. He says innovations has played an important role in the evolution of societies and communities, the world ever since ancient times. A look at many of the developed economies reveals the catalytic role of innovation in their development. Sibanda makes an example of Finland, which used to be a forestry and agricultural-based economy to what it is today, having given birth to one of the leading telecommunication companies of our generation, Nokia. He also makes an example of South Korea, that is one of the leading technological economies today. 50 years ago, Republic of Korea was poorer than Mozambique. The countries that have transitioned into innovation-driven, knowledge-based is that they have invested significantly in research and development to levels above the 2% of gross domestic product and recognize the importance of innovation, intellectual property, technology transfer, and entrepreneurship. Mkhathini, siyahalalisa, sithi halala, siyisinethi sikufisela konke okuhle, kodwa ke futhi sithi nomveli nqangi, sithi akakukhanyisele indlela yakho kule minyaka ozoyihlala kanye nathi eNyuvesi yaKwaZulu-Natal kuleli likaMthaniya. In closing, I would like to quote our former President Nelson Mandela, where he said, "The power of education extends beyond the development of skills we need for economic success. It can contribute to nation building and reconciliation. Our previous systems emphasized the physical and other differences of South Africans with devastating effect. We are steadily but surely introducing education that enables our children to exploit their similarities and common goals while appreciating the strength in their diversity." Ngiyathokoza. I thank you.
Chancellor, on behalf of Council, presented by Dr. Letitia Moja, Chair of Council.
Chancellor, Dr. Reuel Khoza, now I can call you Chancellor, not Chancellor-elect. Vice Chancellor, Professor Nana Poku, the MEC of Education in KwaZulu-Natal, Mr. Mshengu, Deputy Chair of Council, Dr. Mark Hay, Chairs of Council committees and all members of Council present, Executive team members present, members of all university key structures that are present today, and to all university community members, I greet you all. On behalf of Council, I would like to congratulate the Chancellor for making it to the position after a rigorous university-wide process. The process has been so rigorous that I believe all stakeholders agree you are the right person to be Chancellor for this university. I also want to thank you for availing yourself to serve the university at this critical time. Everybody will agree we are going through very difficult times worldwide, countrywide, and also as a university, province and university. The pandemic has hit us all. The climate change everybody has been talking about, but it has really hit home in the province where the university is hosted. It is a time where the country is trying to revive the country's economy. It is the time where the university has got major challenges, both financially and in terms of growing the university. These are indeed very difficult times. But we are honored to have a person of your caliber to actually assist us as we navigate this difficult time. As Council, we believe your experience, knowledge, and expertise is going to take us much further than we would have gone without you. Let me also thank Mrs. Khoza, your daughters and grandchildren, and the broader Khoza family for giving us time to share, giving us this time to share with us. Time doesn't develop or grow, so every time anybody takes a new responsibility, that time is taken from somewhere else. And I believe you will be taking some of the time from the family to actually serve the university, and I would like to really greatly thank the family. But your presence here as a family assures us of your support for his work at UKZN, and for any person to be successful, they really need family support. Thank you for supporting him and for letting him take up this responsibility. We look forward to working with you, at the same time learning from you. But learning is a dynamic process, and I am sure you will learn something also from us, even at with your standing. Let us move forward and take this university to greater heights. You are welcome. Thank you.
Chancellor, on behalf of the Department of Education, the MEC for Education in KwaZulu-Natal, the Honorable Mshengu.
Chancellor Dr. Khoza, the Chair of Council, Dr. Moja, and Vice Chancellor, Professor Boku, and let me stand on the protocol that has been observed, and then say on behalf of the government of KwaZulu-Natal and the people of this province, want to extend congratulations to you, Dr. Khoza, on your appointment and installation as a Chancellor of this important institution. To us as government of KwaZulu-Natal, UKZN is an important institution, not because half of the Executive Council are alumni of this institution, but also because of the role that these institutions play, or that this institution plays in putting KwaZulu-Natal in the global map. The appointment of this thought leader and one of the leading intellectuals in the continent should put impetus on the need, Professor Poku, to produce more intellectuals as this university, intellectuals that will guide the construction of the South Africa of our dreams. Because the journey towards this South Africa of our dreams does not only rest with politicians. Everyone has a role to play. Just like the liberation of our people did not only rest on the mass mobilization, but that mass mobilization happened in the context of a clearly defined journey, which was an intellectual work of many freedom fighters at that time. 28 years into democracy, the intellectuals in our country seems to be taking a backseat. And that gives space for too much voodoo analysis in society. That is actually not helping us. So we want this institution under your leadership, Katin, to produce intellectuals that will give strategic reflections on the grand challenges that we face as society and define solutions so that we bring about the South Africa of our dreams. We want this university to continue to be a research hub for knowledge production, the knowledge which will be used by all of us to defer to whenever we are given responsibilities to lead this society. Because society can't be led through common sense. And decisions of constructing a new society should be sounded on a firm basis of a well-researched knowledge base, which we can only get in institutions like UKZN. We pledge our commitment as government to continue working with this university for the betterment of the people of KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa, Africa and the globe. Once again, congratulations, and I thank you.
Chancellor, I have pleasure in inviting you to address the congregation.
Master of Ceremonies, MEC for Education in KwaZulu-Natal, Mr. Kwazim Shengu, Chair of the UKZN Council, Dr. Letitia Moja, Vice Chancellor and Principal, Professor Nana Poku, members of the Provincial Executive Management here present, members of Council, past and present, members of the University Senate, members of the University Executive Management, members of Convocation Executive past and present, members of the Student Representative Council, distinguished guests, members of the media who will help us disseminate this further afield. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for the opportunity to address you. I am dumbfounded. Generally, I don't like words to express myself, but as for the occasion that we find ourselves in this morning, I am wanting for words to express myself. I really don't know where to start, but perhaps I could start with the Imbongi, who took trouble to dig deep into my origins and track my culture and traditions, and tracked me right up to where I am today. Imbongi, I really do thank you for hooking me up with my ancestry. I take my ancestors extremely seriously. And you have reminded me of the importance to actually remember our roots as well as worship in a manner that actually takes our ancestors seriously and take them into account. Thank you very much to the Imbongi. I see that we also have in our midst Professor Mushankondo, who is my friend, family friend, and mentor of 45 years standing. And sitting next to him is one of our best and most dedicated member of the community dedicated to arts and culture, understanding music in all its dimensions, Mr. Bongani Tembe. He and I promoted choral music and classical music for no less than 30 years, I surmise, during Fort choirs, Old Mutual choirs, and all of those years. And in recent times, he made use of his good offices to help me orchestrate and record and produce music that was composed by my late cousin, S.J. Khoza, to the entertainment of our nation and much further afield. Thank you very much for obliging when we invited to be our guests. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, I wish I had enough time to single out each member of the august publics that came in here to congratulate me. I don't have much time, neither does the institution have much time today. I am not going to single you out by name. Suffice it to say that for all the commendation, all the praise, all the congratulations, my gratitude defies limits. May I, at the outset, express my deepest sense of gratitude to the University of KwaZulu-Natal for deeming it fit and appropriate to invite me to be Chancellor of this esteemed institution. I consider it a singular honor and an exceptional privilege. I accept this privilege to serve at a painful conjuncture in the history of our nation. The pain is occasioned by a variety of malpractices and manifest malfeasance inter alia. As we look around, what do we see? Amongst others, the following: a once promising state, now a manifest pre-Bendelism gravitating towards a kleptocracy. Politicians and government officials embezzle with gay abandon. Arenas that should be reserved as a contestation for political ideas have been turned into killing fields. People who fail to argue cogently and win the support of the citizenry choose to eliminate their adversaries or their competitors in the contestation for ideas and followership. We see a state captured by a foreign family that is a non-entity in the country of their birth, using our leadership as a Trojan horse. We see corruption so rampant, the citizenry has lost trust in political leadership. We observe abnormally high, even debilitating unemployment that renders the nation, particularly educated youth, despondent. We observe moral decadence characterized by crime against women and children and utter neglect of the sick and infirm. We also observe a Gini coefficient infamous for being the worst in the world. We see a political leadership which is long on churning out plans and short on implementation. We see a political economy languishing in junk status, with its leadership behaving as if this does not matter. We see a nation ravaged and plagued by natural disasters in the form of floods and droughts, battling to cope, let alone earnestly attempting to devise ways of effectively handling these calamities in future. We see a leadership whose questionable conscience fails to urge it to condemn the act of one nation waging war on another, killing women, children, and the infirm, and exiling millions from the country of their birth. Just to mention a few observations. Mahatma Gandhi, who was once resident in this province, admonishes sagaciously on the imperative of a good set of values as follows. I quote him: "The things that will destroy us are politics without principles, pleasure without conscience, wealth without work, knowledge without character, business without morality, science without humanity, and worship without sacrifice." Close quote. Against this bleak background and wise counsel, the University of KwaZulu-Natal, as an institution of higher learning, has its obligation well cut out. our institutional leadership must be imbued with a compelling vision, well articulated and pursued in exemplary manner. Our administration should have clear policies, be strict in their application, particularly where budgetary and financial matters are concerned. Our academic staff must perforce be dedicated to a culture of diligence and excellence, unrelenting in its pursuit. Our students must deeply appreciate that appropriate education is the key to addressing their own personal challenges, those of the country, the region, and the continent. Our research and development, be it in infrastructure, tropical diseases, healthcare, law, science and technology, commerce and the social sciences, must doggedly chase innovation, having regard to its practical relevance. Unless the University of KwaZulu-Natal's Council and Senate, as administrative and academic governance bodies, insist without compromise on the strict adherence to sound policies, diligent and dedicated pursuit of world-class academic and research standards, our noble quest to serve our beloved country will be an illusion turned existential nightmare for this and future generations, nationally and continentally, a consequence we dare not contemplate. We live in a democracy in which academic excellence could very well thrive. But just as freedoms are considered indivisible, excellence is also indivisible. It cannot be expected that our students can produce academic excellence when the lecturers and other resources accorded to them are substandard. It cannot be expected that students will produce academic excellence if they are ill-prepared and fail to apply themselves. It cannot be expected that lecturers will produce academic excellence if they are not oriented and dedicated towards academic excellence. It cannot be expected that the academic staff can produce academic excellence if the support from the administration is absent or at best shambolic. It cannot be expected that academic institutions will produce excellence if they operate in an environment hostile to all the freedoms associated with democracy. It cannot be expected that institutions can produce academic excellence where they cannot muster adequate resources. We are therefore duty-bound to maintain the academic and other freedoms we currently enjoy in South Africa. We are obliged to conserve and jealously apply the available resources that are dedicated towards academic pursuit. We have a duty to ensure an efficient and effective administration and organizational support to enable academia to focus on academic pursuit. It behoves us to encourage and insist on application by academic staff and students towards world-class performance and delivery. We have a duty to reinvent and redefine ourselves into an African university of reference, to position ourselves as an institution of higher learning deserving of unconditional respect, continentally and globally. We need to be a quintessential center of excellence. Quintessential center of excellence because our administration and financial management are beyond reproach. A university of reference because our standards are world-class, and aspirant students view us as their university of first choice and not one of last resort. A desirable center of scholarship excellence because our research and development in particular disciplines is at the cutting edge. The mere mention of University of KwaZulu-Natal, UKZN, should conjure up images of excellence akin to those of the Ivy League universities in the USA. We should stop at nothing in realizing this. Before I conclude, I was very, very impressed to know, Vice Chancellor, that you actually have a project that is dedicated to innovation. Nothing could be more important than that. Every one of us, individuals as well as organizations, are in a state of becoming. There's no standing still. If you stand still, you go backwards. We are in a state of becoming either an anachronism, irrelevant to the future, or we could be bearers, as this institution, bearers or harbingers of what humanity should strive to become. I am convinced that you'll pursue that with dedication and diligence. We will continue to become better, become excellent, become the example that we should be. In conclusion, I end with a call to action. Here, within the hallowed precincts of the University of KwaZulu-Natal, I call on students, on their lecturers, on the honorable body of academia that is the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Be audacious, be diligent, be dogged, be daring in your pursuit of excellence. As your Chancellor, I pledge to do the same as and when duty calls. I thank you.
Chancellor, I have a few procedural announcements to make before the dissolution of the congregation. I'd like to invite everybody present today to join us for lunch. A plated lunch will be served in this venue. For those joining us at the graduation ceremony today, graduation starts at 2 o'clock, and the venue is the UKZN Sports Centre. If anybody needs directions or anything, I'm more than willing to help. For the procession, please will you return your gowns here, We'll then move the gowns, the gowns as a collective down to the sports centre and make gowns available again there for people joining in the procession. After dissolution of the congregation, please will you remove head coverings during the singing of our national anthem. And after that, our newly appointed Chancellor will lead the procession from the hall. Thank you.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I dissolve this congregation of the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Please remain standing for the national anthem.